Candy the Encouragement Queen here, and I have a video that was requested by one of my subscribers on YouTube, and it's about being single. Alright, so this is like a handful of things that I want every person to know about being single, okay? The first thing is that, well, wait, before I jump into this, I'm not single. I am married, don't worry. Nothing happened with my relationship, but this is based off my experience from when I was single, and experience that I have acquired from several other stories from several other people who have had the experience of being single. Okay, I'm sure all of us know we have single friends. Some of us obviously have been single at one point in time, so this is just from my perspective. Alright, so one of the first things I want to say is that there is nothing wrong with being single. Being single is totally okay. For some reason, there's this odd stigma out there that if you're single, there's something wrong with you. If you can't lock down a man, you did something wrong, or there's something off about you, or there's something not right, or whatever. That does not have to be the case at all. Honestly, sometimes it's better to be single. It's better to be alone, because when you are alone, you have the ability to focus more so on who you want to be and who you are as a person. That way, you can focus on becoming that person that, is supposed to be a soulmate for someone else. And that's even if you want to be in a relationship. There's some people who are single by choice and plan to be single for the rest of their life. Maybe being married and having a family isn't really in the cards for them because it's not something they really want to do. But for some other people, being single is very uncomfortable. And it's because, they want to have a team, they want to have a family, they want to get married. So first thing I want to say, being single, there's nothing wrong with it at all. Like, the last thing you want to do is force yourself to be in a relationship that wasn't supposed to happen, or sooner than it was supposed to happen, because you just are anxious and paranoid you can't handle being single. It's okay, right? It's okay. There's nothing wrong with being single at all. The next thing is that being single is kind of a gift, You kind of gotta think about it. It's a gift. It's not a curse. Oh my gosh, I can't get a man. Oh my gosh, no girl wants to stay with me. Oh my gosh, da 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 da. It's not a curse. You're not cursed, I promise. I mean, I hope not. But it's actually a gift. It's actually a little bit of a blessing, because you have this time to focus on you. Like I said before, on who you want to be as a person. You have time to literally figure out what really matters to you, what's important to you, what your goals in life actually are. What are some steps that you actually want to actively take in your life before you kick the bucket. That's a gift. You don't have any distractions. Obviously you might have work, you might have kids, you might have your family and stuff like that, but not being tethered into a relationship with another person is an opportunity to figure out what's important to you, so that when that other person does come, if you're looking to be in a relationship, you'll already know. That's another thing that's really important to do. You will have the time to relax freely in your mind and really decide where you want to go once you jump into a relationship. And another thing that's really important about that is defining those boundaries. You definitely want to define boundaries before you start dating someone. You need to know where your line is before it gets crossed. You need to decide, this is what a first date looks like for me. This is how comfortable I am being on a second date. This is how comfortable I'm deciding before it happens to be on a third date. The last thing you want to do is just be in the middle of a situation. You have no idea where to go from here. So you can play those things out in your mind before it happens, so that when it does happen, you are already mentally prepared on where to take that next step. The next thing I want to say is, be confident in who you are. And being single is an awesome opportunity to figure out who that exactly is. You're royalty. You're a king, you're a queen. You're someone special, someone. Even if it's your parents, your child, your future spouse, you're special to someone, so remember that. And then another thing is to know what you want. It's really, another thing that really makes being in a relationship difficult is if you're with someone who doesn't know what they want. If you're with someone who's completely codependent on you and your choices, so the biggest thing about that is a give and take thing. Know what you want, know what you like, know what you don't like, know what you'll tolerate, and know what you won't tolerate, so that the person that you're jumping into that relationship with isn't coming in blind. They know, they're aware, like, this is okay and this is not okay. This makes me uncomfortable. This makes me smile a lot. Just knowing those things in advance will severely help you when you do enter into a relationship, because that way that person isn't figuring it out for the first time and you didn't even know that was something that bothered you. So obviously you can't know everything all the time, but the more you're aware of what your triggers are and what excites you and what really bums you out, the easier it'll be for that person who's in that relationship with you in order to have a successful relationship. So in that comes with working on your mindset, and a big part of that is respecting yourself. You need to respect yourself. So by that I mean, don't just get into a relationship with anyone. Oh, you have 2 legs and you're looking at me kind of nice? All right, let's try it. Like, that is a good way to go down a terrible path. I mean, there is probably like a slight fraction of people who just shoot arrows in the dark and they might get lucky, but I'm going to tell you 9 times out of 10, if you are just waywardly throwing yourself around, you're going to regret it in the long run, because you are exerting energy, you're sharing yourself with a bunch of people who don't really have the chance to get to know you on a deep, intimate level, because before you know it, you're off on another ship with another person. That's just hurtful for yourself. So what you really got to do in your mindset is like, okay, this is what I'm looking for in a person, period. Like, this is my ideal, what I'm looking for. Obviously, you can't expect anyone to be perfect, but if this person is in the red, like they don't match anything you're looking for whatsoever, they are rude or disrespectful, they assume things and they're not your type at all, like, don't waste your time. If the person's like in the yellow and they have like half the things that you really like, but the other half is kind of like questionable, you gotta decide, is this something I want to pursue? Is this something I can see myself continuing to do for a long period of time? And obviously, if that person's in the green, see if you're in the green for them, and then have a conversation and start with friendship first. Don't jump in like, this is my forever person. Like, if you do that, that's another way to get your heart broken. All right, so honestly, pace yourself. Go at a pace that you are comfortable with. If that other person is pushing you and pulling you to go at a faster pace than you're comfortable with, say something. And if they don't like it, that's your exit out. If your pace, you feel like they're going really slow and it's uncomfortable for you, mention that. And that person's like, nah, I don't want to move any faster than this. And if that's something you can't or you don't feel comfortable, sitting through, have that conversation and go from there. Just be open and honest about it from the jump, and you'll save so much time, whether that's ending the relationship or having a conversation, building a stronger bond, and working on it together to continue to build that relationship. Another thing that I'm going to go ahead and throw out there is letting go of the past. Okay, I can't tell you how many times people bring their baggage from old relationships and just keep stacking them on top and carrying them to the next relationship. And the person, you show up and you're just like, and this and this and this and this, and having let go of this, and you know how like stressful that can be? Not just for you, but for them too. Like, oh my gosh, are you sure we should be in a relationship right now? Are you sure we should be in a relationship right now? Like, sort through your baggage. Sort through it. Toss out what needs to get tossed out. Stuff that never needed to happen, nothing needed to be said. Like, go through that stuff. Actually process the past and come to a definitive, notion about it and move forward from it. Grab the things that were good experiences, grab the things that'll help you not make that mistake again, and make sure that baggage turns into a sticky note, basically. And that sticky note can be, this is why that should have happened, or this is what I'll do to prevent that from happening again, or this is what I learned from that experience, and that's it. Sticky note is much lighter than a 50-pound bag of crap that you should have been let go of, So don't carry that around. It'll just bring you down. Learn and grow from it. And then just don't go back to those same mistakes. Be better. I'm gonna wrap this up real quick. I wanted this to be kind of a short video. The last thing that I'll go ahead and say is hold yourself to a higher standard. I feel like a lot of people are in this rut of being frustrated and upset that they're single, but they're not doing anything to better themselves, or they're not doing anything to work on themselves, or they're not doing anything to take better care of themselves. They're just wallowing in this pit of despair, and last I checked, that's not really attractive to anyone, unless, you know, that person is just using you to take advantage of your insecurities, and you don't want to be with someone like that, right? So take note on what you can and what you can't change, right? Take note of, okay, these are things that are in my control, these are things that I can change, these are things I can work on, these are things that I can actively do to make things better. And then take note of what can't change and accept that. Accept that it can't change, accept that it's not in your control, and don't waste any more energy on that. The other thing is, you know, if you're deciding to be in a relationship, that same note carries over. You know, take note of what can be different. Take note of what will never change. Also, if you are looking to get into a new relationship, you know, keep in mind that, you know, opportunities are in front of you all the time. And just be open to new opportunities. Maybe try something different, try something new, but in a sensible measure. Don't be like, I'm gonna go to Alaska and find my forever person. Like, okay, you gotta be sensible. So on the other note of that, I mean, unless you live in Alaska, go for you. But you know what I mean? Don't just be impulsive, you know, actually plan things on purpose. Think ahead of time. Be mindful, play things out in your head. But don't overwhelm yourself or get anxious or paranoid, because you still gotta live, you know? So I would say to go to someone you know and trust so that they can reason with what you have going on in your head. I know it's hard to talk to people sometimes because you feel embarrassed or ashamed or shy or insecure, but at the end of the day, if you're bottling all this stuff up in yourself, you're gonna collapse. You're gonna fall apart. Some of you might already be in the process of falling apart, and it's not fun. And I'm telling you this from my own personal experience. Ever since I was a kid, all I wanted to be was married. But in that desire, there was a reckless pursuit in order to get to where I am today. And it didn't need to be that reckless, you know? There's a lot of clear and obvious things that I did that was wrong that I could have avoided if I was just being sensible. If I just respected myself, if I knew who I was, if I knew what I expected from myself and the person that I'm deciding to be with, you know? Respect yourself. Be mindful. Do things on purpose. You know, don't just throw yourself around. Please don't just throw yourself around. Please don't. And talk to someone you trust. Go from there. And if you don't remember anything else I said today, just remember it's okay. You don't have to fall under the pressures of society. Like, you are going to be okay the moment you decide to be. Alright, so I hope this was helpful. If you want to hear me talk more about the topic, I do have a podcast called Motivationally Speaking on Spotify, and we're releasing a new episode every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. So just head on over there, and there will be an episode called Something About Being Single. Alright, so head over there and you will see that, and check out some of my other episodes. I hope, once again, that this has been encouraging, that you've been inspired. I just want to help you grow. You know, until next time, I hope you're having a great day, okay? Bye.